Welcome to Really Playing Games, the Extinction Curse. It's time for some fairy nonsense. I'm Graham and I'm the Game Master. And I'm not going to do this voice for all the players to torture them. The next one is Sarah, who's playing Petra, the Tiefling Magus. Brian, who's playing Faith, the Tiefling Monk.
Howdy.
Garrett playing Fabian, the Catfolk Clown Rogue.
Hi there.
Ross as Arshishk, the Lizard Folk Swashbuckler.
Hello.
Also Ross as Marion Calder, the magnificent half-elf oracle.
Hello.
And finally Patrick as Horatio Calder, the half-elf wizard.
Dance, magic, dance.
Indeed, that is what is happening. But as a little bit of a prelude to what has happened so far this night, all of this taking place in one brutal evening after a lackluster circus performance show, figuring out that there were these snakes, these uncharacteristically aggressive snakes that killed the ringmaster Myron Thunder Stendhal, the bear Bardolph, who was part of your circus, also uncharacteristically aggressive. And then you go inside, you break into the ringmaster's wagon to discover these weird bulbous plants that had rusted the hinges off the doors and were spitting out this pollen, this horrible, nasty, gunky stuff that's still affecting some of you. Went through all of that, managed to destroy enough of the pods so they didn't affect you anymore. Found some cool things in the ringmaster's wagon, but nothing overtly explaining why he had died, but you did get an ever-burning torch out of it. So you went and kind of rested for a second after that, and then just next thing that rolled along is that a few of the roustabouts who were out in the nearby woods cutting wood said that they saw these snakes in the woods. Oh god, more snakes. So you went to investigate, found out that there was a regular snake and a big snake, which unfortunately had some pretty nasty, vile poison that managed to down some people and poison them and make life just teeter on the edge while you were going through that. So as a reminder, it reminds me to let you all know, you all reset back to 1 hero point. So just so you have that little boost and boon going for you. Sure. You decided after that, we've had a lot of wounds, we've had a lot of shit happen this night, so we're going to go back to the campfire, take it easy for a bit. It's getting pretty late in the night at this point when you see these two little lights coming down the water, this little shallow stream in this pond that you're getting your fresh water from in Aberton. And these two little creatures have come up, and they've started playing these little tiny musical instruments. And despite the diminutive size of these instruments, the music that comes out from it is swelling in this loud kind of, little capering songs that start to play around you. You all kind of feel this music fill the air, and as it does so, those nearest to these two pixies, who they call themselves Teresia and Konono, start to kind of move around a little bit uncertain. You see the professor, old as he is, start to kind of move back and forth from foot to foot. Axel is doing this little bit of a twirl with his cape, and they're pretty unsure of themselves. So I need Faith and Oarshisk to make will saving throws for me, if you wouldn't mind.
If you insist.
14 and 15. Great. Great little middle of the road there. 14 and 15, unfortunately, will both fail. So both Oarshisk and Faith, you as well start to kind of, move back and forth a little bit from foot to foot. You're not really dancers. Neither of you are performers, so it's kind of this weird, lizard folk doing a little twist and jig, and Faith doing like a little bit of a pirouette and a curtsy back and forth. And they start to kind of move around a little bit and japer about. And the
Japer.
Japer, caper, jaunty movement back and forth. People kind of further out are like, what the hell is happening? These two sprightly little creatures start coming in closer to the fire, saying, yes, that's just what we wanted. A little bit of an after-show performance. We love the show so much, we just wanted to play with you. And begin coming toward the fire. What do the rest of you do?
I cover my ears.
Alrighty. You immediately start to like cover your ears as the music comes forward. They don't move. It helps a little bit, but there's still like something to the magic that's clearly magically augmented that's coming through a little bit.
I don't step closer, that's for sure.
Well, they are slowly approaching. Axel kind of lets them out of the way as they start to slowly approach the fire.
So, where did you two come from? I don't think I saw you at the performance.
You see one of them, Teresia, says, "Oh, we were invisible. We sometimes cause a bit of a stir. We don't want to be a distraction for your great performance." They start to come a little bit closer. As they do, I would like Horatio and Fabian and Marion to make will saves. Marion, I will say you have a +2 circumstance bonus because of covering your ears. So Marion, you kind of shake it off and like, what the hell is this? Both Colders, in fact, you're like, what the hell is going on? You're kind of maybe natural elven heritage helping against this enchantment. But Fabian, especially because the pollen is still in effect, and I don't know if you included that. Oh yeah, so it's a 6. The pollen affects will saving throws right now. Actually, Fabian's not in effect anymore, but oh, that's a good point. So Horatio, you still have the pollen on you, don't you?
I included it.
Oh, that's included. Perfect. You're good then.
I rolled a 15, and I am a wizard.
So the Calder brothers kind of stop this, but the rest of you are kind of like getting into it a little bit, and there's a bit of, moving into these kind of circles that begin to rotate about. Some of these roustabouts get in on it too and are like dancing around in this circle. Mordain comes to and is like, I don't quite understand why I'm dancing, but I feel like dancing right now. Oh, that's it, she's got it, just everyone dance a little, dance. And you were kind of forming this circle. The people on the outside, the Flamboni sisters, are like, what the fuck's going on here? Looking to you, Petra, like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Are
they start to dance around.
So they're not from the circus, right?
The two little pixie folks here, no, you've never seen them before.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Look, I am all for dancing, but you should ask first.
What? But who doesn't love
Dancing
to
without
dance?
consent.
We're performers. We might be willing to dance for you without this, whatever it is you're doing to affect people's minds.
Music! It's just music! It's the power of music!
Well, maybe they don't want to dance.
Oh, don't be silly! Don't you want to dance? And it kind of comes a little bit closer to you, Petra.
I'm gonna produce flame in my hand.
Oh,
And just like hold it in my hand, like menacingly.
okay. Make an intimidate check.
I don't know. Am I intimidating? I don't know. Nope. I'm not. Let's see. -4.
You don't take the minus to
Oh.
intimidation checks, luckily.
Okay, cool.
So you do that, and she says, "Oh, the bit of fire to add to the shadows that jump around with the music. Here, do a little dance." And so Teresia plays especially hard in your direction, like playing music at you. So I'd like you to make your will save. This will take the -4 as a mental effect.
I'm going to. Probably like a 2.
Oh no.
All right.
Not a 2.
That is a critical failure. Looking back at it, Fabian, you critically failed as well. So you are just absolutely drawn into this. You can't help but kind of push forward and are starting to dance. You see the professor starting to get a little winded, like, this is fun and all, but maybe we could stop. Wait, there's no need to stop. No need to stop at all. It's music.
Now, I disagree. It's been a very long night. People have died. People have come close to dying. We need to rest.
If we dance for you willingly, will you let everyone stop momentarily?
The two pixies kind of come. You wish to dance? Yes, yes, come and dance with us. Yes, we can make it even better. They seem very excited by that idea. They're a little put off by what Marion said, but then Horatio kind of comes right behind it.
Anybody else succeed other than Marion?
Nope,
I think it's just us.
Is it just the two of us?
Yep, the Calder brothers are the only ones not under the dance right now.
This is awkward, Marion, but just... Are you willing to dance with me?
Alright.
Amazing. Okay, I would like the Calder brothers to make performance checks for me.
Boy, I'm not good at this.
Like, oh god. To dance with my brother.
24.
Okay. So,
That's pretty good.
surprisingly, Horatio kind of initiates it, but you're a little, you're the accountant. You're a little bit awkward and clumsy on your feet, whereas Marion is the performer, is going out on stage. So it's Marion, very hesitant at first, starts to kind of go and lead you into it.
Okay, H. Alright, no, this isn't working. Follow my lead.
You switch leads, and the two brothers begin dancing around the circle. The two Griggs here are ecstatic. They are like, oh yes, the brothers dancing! Oh yes, he was my favorite act, I knew it! And they begin just joyous, like, playing, and you do this full lap around the performers. Everyone else very awkwardly watching this, kind of being forced to dance, whereas you have this, grace to it, and it's actually pretty good. So after a few rounds of it going around, a kind of natural swell to the music goes up, and both of these little fake creatures stop playing, and they kind of look around at the brothers, who do a dip and do like the performance thing. Marion dips Horatio, do a bow, and the two pixie little things are just absolutely... everyone else kind of like, stops dancing. They didn't want to dance, didn't expect to, so just kind of tuckered out by this point. The effects of the dance slowly fade from you as just everything seems to kind of go back to normal, and the playing stops. The other performers in your circus trying to move out of the way and move away from this, like, I don't want to get caught if they start playing music again. So they kind of get out of the way. But the two are just ecstatic, and they both come up to Horatio and Marion. That was so good. Yes, very, very good. We knew that you would love music. And they are very thrilled with your performance.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
You're good at that, Marion. And I'll point to Marion and say he's really the one who deserves all the credit. He's quite the performer, isn't he?
You did a follow. Your follow was good. It was a good follow.
I shit it in Ingrid.
So can we help you?
Why are you here again?
Oh, we're just here to, play some music. It was pretty fun. Circus show is very good. Yes, we liked it a lot, and we just like to play music. And your show is so nice. Yes, there's something about it. Just there's a little magic of itself, the magic of the circus.
So, you said you were here and invisible. How long have you been here and invisible?
For a while. We've been here for a little bit.
Did you see the man who died?
Damn it.
Is middle of your conversation, there's a sound. A squeaking sound. Many squeaking sounds. Is talking to these little creatures, you see come in between the ringmaster's wagon and the wagon of the professor.
Oh, no.
Is a halfling woman with a headdress shaped as a rat. She carries with her a staff, barefoot, a sickle hanging at her side, and this grin, this malicious grin across her face. The other members of the circus kind of back up as suddenly she is surrounded on all sides by these rats that are scurrying about, kind of scurrying up her leg and all around her. And at her side, as if it was like some kind of sort of guard dog, is a giant, diseased-looking rat with furious red eyes. And you see, as she approaches, the rustling of leaves can be heard as hundreds of red-eyed rats scurry about the foliage.
Oh.
The rats surround a halfling woman wearing a headdress in the shape of a rat's head, its open mouth framing her face. "Isn't this a pretty sight?" she cackles, twisting her grip on a gnarled staff. "I had hoped to murder more of you while the whole town was watching. That would have frightened them away from here for good. But a bigger slaughter might be even better. Foolish farmers and poisoners of Aberton will discover your rat-chewed corpses. No one will know how it happened, but everyone will whisper that nature is taking its revenge. And it is! Through me! I'll wager most of the town will be gone in a week and the rest will fall easily. Then, perhaps, the land can heal from the cancer known as Aberton." And the rats kind of all scurry about her and that, and she kind of gloats in this whole malevolent monologue. The Griggs around the fire kind of look to you and kind of like, "Oh no, what is this?"
Oh
and
my.
float around by the fire.
How many
Well, I guess that
diseased
answers-
animals?
My questions.
She just
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was-
is gauging you all at this point, looking around to each of you and seeing some of the circus performers genuinely terrified by this halfling woman and all the rats around her.
So,
No, you first.
any way we can convince you not to murder everyone?
It's the only way they will learn. It's the only way anyone ever learns. The culling must happen. It's been overdue for a long time. And with such colorful bodies as yours, it's served to leave a message.
For who?
For everyone. For all you civilized folk in your civilization.
You think
You're a
circus
blight.
folk are civilized? Have you seen us?
Well, Ned, you're a bit stranger, but no matter. It's just a taste to your sight when they come and find your rat-chewed bodies.
Who are just like everyone?
Everyone! All the people!
The civilized people.
Yes!
But I thought you wanted to kill the civilized people.
I do!
So why do you want them to see us, our bodies?
The ones that I can't get to will see your bodies and be scared and tell other civilized people, and they'll tell their friends until all of them flee. Then maybe, at that point, maybe, just maybe, the land will heal.
Or they'll just all gang up together and come and kill you. Because you killed a bunch of people.
I like to
On-
see them try.
Yeah, see, joke's on you. You kill all of us, suddenly you've got, dozens of ghosts on your hands, and you're not getting rid of them.
Oh yeah, he knows ghosts.
So, ask your...
I ain't as scared of no ghost. Alright, that's enough. Time to die! My minions feast on their corpses! And she sends her rats into you. As she does so, the two Griggs you've just finished dancing with kind of leap up into their instruments. "Oh no, you don't! Not to our new circus friends!" And begin playing discordantly in her direction. The Griggs come to your rescue, but everyone else needs to roll initiative.
Well, I wasn't expecting eco-terrorists.
Yeah.
Surprise.
In a farming village.
Right. At least, rat-flavored eco-terrorists.
Could have been snakes or bears.
Yeah. Shark-flavored eco-terrorists.
29! Ah!
Oh my god.
Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Alright. It seems this halfling woman, ready and full of malicious intent, raises her staff high and sends out a spell in your direction. You see the grass around you begin to grow thicker and thicker and thicker and begin to entangle up to your sides as she casts a spell.
Entangling vines.
Alright, so it's going to be a 20-foot radius burst. So she is basically going to go around the area where Fabian and the pixies and all that stuff are. So, get my little template out.
Does it? I guess I'll find out momentarily.
Yeah, a burst is 20 feet from a corner.
Alrighty. So it's going to be a little bit closer, though. I think she's going to put it pretty much around the fire. So, right about there.
On fire?
Yep. So the fire still burns through, but basically everything else around it is difficult terrain and starts to grab and snag at you as you kind of do it. She says, cackling as she does so, "See how nature rises against you!" Yeah,
so that, Petra, that doesn't include you. You're too far out.
Okay.
If the corner is the one between the two of them,
Yes, it is.
yeah, so
That's
she's
good to know.
she's 25.
She's going to do that, and then she is going to step back a little bit to let her rat minions go forward. So she'll go back to here. Fabian, you start your turn in the difficult terrain. I need you to make a reflex save.
Okay.
Ooh, 20. Not too much. Yeah, you're good. Your nimble roguelike abilities allow you to kind of dance through the vines going up at your feet, and your cat-like reflexes pull through you. It's still difficult terrain. That's all it is for you, though.
Okay. So it'll end up being... So I can get out of it with one turn, and then... 2 turns... 3 turns. I'll start trying to come around back, catch her off guard.
Kind of go around and go. The cat stalks around the side of the tent. All right, Kanono, flying up in the air, is not affected by the plants going all around. So she kind of looks and says, "Oh no, you don't!" Does this discordant note on a fiddle, which strikes right out at Nimia. Goes and tries to attack her, although I think she's going to have to get a little bit closer. Yep, so she's going to take an action to move just a little bit forward, over to right about here, so, yep. And then do it twice, actually. 2 discordant notes. The first one will hit, and the second one will hit as well. Ooh. So you see Nimia or the halfling there, her name's Nimia, kind of, what the fuck is that? And seem to just be a little bit perturbed as she takes some sonic damage from that. Alright. So then we're on to Marion.
Start my turn into difficult terrain.
Yes, make a reflex save. 23.
Yeah.
You are fine as well. You quickly dodge out of it. It's just difficult terrain for you.
And then I stride out of it, and I take my crossbow, and I'm going to shoot that smaller rat.
Sure thing. Technically, it's a giant rat because it's a big rat. Ooh.
Well, it's a less giant rat.
25 is a critical hit. You see Marion kind of dance out, take out the crossbow, put a bolt right through that rat's head. Slumps over dead. Before it can even act. Death's call! Hell yeah. Alright. So...
As the crossbow bolt enters the rat's head, a visible little rat ghost comes out of it. And it goes and it flies around Marion, and the little evidences of ghostly, what do you call it, interference start becoming stronger. So instead of like a light tug here, his entire clothes ripple with some unseen wind.
Marion goes into his full claircognizant colder form. As the rat suddenly just dies, you see the halfling and sees the ghost kind of go away, and her eyes widen. Shit, you weren't kidding. Seems a little freaked out by that. As Marion kills that rat.
This isn't even my final form.
I'm only using 2% of my power.
All right, so that was Marion. Brutal.
And I reload.
And Faith, you are. I believe you started in the thing.
I don't know.
Yes, I think you do. So go ahead and make a reflex save for me. Man, you guys are just not. You don't give a shit about this entangle spell. It's just difficult
Let's
terrain
look.
for you. Yep.
So that's 10 feet to get there.
Okay.
And now I'm out, so 5, 10, 15. Can I crawl under the cart?
You sure can. It's just difficult terrain.
15, 20, 25.
Oh right. What was that rat's level?
That rat was a
So-
giant rat.
Double move, that would be 5 feet of my second movement. 10.
-1.
Okay, so I get 3 temporary hit points.
I can't actually see where she is, but I feel like I would be able to if I'm underneath.
Sure. So how far underneath the wagon do you want to crawl?
Well, I can't see where she is, so I don't know where I want to crawl.
So
This is the problem.
She is. You see that ping?
She's way over there. Okay.
Yeah, you can see her in that square. Underneath, you can see her feet. She has these hairy halfling feet. So
15, 25. That's 2 moves to get there. And oh look, there's a rat there. I'm gonna flurry on that rat.
well, this is a rat swarm that is all around her. So
It's right here though, right?
yep,
That
is a rat
that
swarm.
that is a rat swarm.
It is indeed.
I'm gonna try to punch the rat swarm, so I make 2. I don't know
Okay.
how this works.
Bludgeoning damages against the rats.
I'm
Or
gonna
you can
bludgeon.
do different damages, can't you?
I mean, I have the option. So I just attack and then
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
See what happens.
my first hit. This is gonna be non-lethal, by the way. 11
Alright.
probably misses.
No, you start to like kick at the rats, and they scurry away from your feet from the first blow.
Try again.
12, unfortunately, will miss the rat swarm as well. You kind of go and do a little crawling and quickly come up and start stomping on rats, but they are swarming around and getting out of the way of your feet, unfazed. So that is Faith. We're on to Petra. You do not start in difficult terrain, but the squares kind of to the right of you are.
Yeah. Can I? Do I have line of sight on the rat swarm from where I am?
Yes, I think on this corner you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to burn them because that just
Alrighty.
is my
Sure.
Taking the Aviana approach.
yeah. Burn yeah.
Fire, burn all these animals.
Burn all the animals.
Maybe not.
A 13 unfortunately misses.
Yup.
So you kind of send the fire off. It kind of goes. It almost hits the halfling, and she.
Well, that's fine too. But And then I'm gonna put on shield because last time I was like, I'm fine. I almost died.
All right, so you
put up shield.
hold the fire and then send the shield in front of you. Horatio.
$14.
Oh, finally, it does something. So you start in there. 14 will fail. So that means you have a minus 10 foot penalty to speed. So you have minus 10 speed and it's difficult terrain until you leave the area.
Okay, so that means I have 15, which is
5.
so it would be 10. I could still get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not far enough in. It's just kind of like step out.
But do I care to though? What does it do? Because there, I'm still more than 30. No. No. I'm not gonna move. What kind of magic spell to use? I'm gonna. If I stay, I don't really get to do anything. So I will move here, and then second action, I will move. I will just step up and cast Protective Ward.
All right. So you see your brother, the Rat Slayer, and come up behind him. Bring up the shield.
It's my turn.
Okay. Time for the swarm of rats. The halfling points at Faith, who dares to come toward them, and says, "Get there! Strip the flesh from her bones!" And the rat swarm will then take one action to move over into Faith's space, swarming her. And then it is going to use swarming bites on you twice. I need you to make 2 reflex saving throws. Okay, that's a success. That's also a success. So you take 2 whole points of piercing damage as the rats begin to bite and gnaw at you, and they smell awful. Just the stench is coming up and rising, wafting from them, and there's just rats swarming around you right now. It's very unpleasant as you are surrounded by rats. Oarshisk.
I assume that I am not in the area if Petra is not in the area.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
I'm at a parallel location.
Right.
I can't see her. Me physically cannot see her, but can my character see her from there or no?
She's definitely fully behind the ringmaster's wagon from you.
Right, but do I have like any idea of like the general location of where she is?
You were totally inside it.
Yes, I would. No, because Petra was there, so I'm gonna say if Petra wasn't inside it, then Oarshisk wouldn't be. So you can't see her. No, you don't have line of sight to her. You know what direction she is because there are people firing, discordant notes and fireballs and stuff like that. So you know they're over here somewhere.
Over there somewhere. Okay, that was. I just wanted to generally know her location. How tall are the wagons?
How tall are the wagons? Probably about 15 feet or so.
Okay. I'm gonna try to.
So you can definitely go under them, like Faith just did. They're just difficult terrain if you go under them.
Right. I think I might try to follow suit.
Sure.
So I'm gonna move 15, and then That'll put me at 25 underneath this wagon, I guess.
Yeah, because there's an extra square of difficult terrain to go underneath the wagon.
And then...
Yeah, if you're underneath the wagon, you can see that she's in this square, and then the rat swarm's right here.
Okay. I guess I'll squeeze to here. Am I in melee range of the rat swarm?
Yes. I'll say you probably take like a -2 circumstance penalty to attack the rat swarm if you're like ducking underneath and like lunging out from beneath the wagon. So it's kind of a disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say you can do it, but it's just a little bit harder to do so underneath the wagon.
And I'm gonna try to do like a slash at one of the rats that's like trying to climb on Faith.
Sure.
You said a -2?
Yeah, -2 to attack.
Okay. Oh.
Alright, you go to slash at one, and it kind of like scurries out of the way. You can't quite catch it.
Okay, that's my 3 actions.
Alright, you slash at the rats underneath the wagon. Then Tauricia goes, "Okay, here I go! I'm going to get you with my fiddle!" So she's also going to go right next to Kanono. "Let's get her!" And the fiddle just sounds horrible, but they are aiming this horrible noise straight at Nymia, so 2 more dissonant notes at her. First one will miss, the second one will miss as well. Tauricia's, it seems like the halfling seems to be wising up to it, kind of closes her ears a bit, and is unaffected by the notes. So we are back up to her turn. Let's see. What terrible thing is she going to do now? Really doesn't like that Marion just brutalized her rat companion. So he's kind of behind the wagon, though.
Yep, I am kind of behind the wagon.
Kind of behind the wagon.
You're not off the wagon.
Had to be on the wagon to get off the wagon.
Let's see.
Under the wagon. Which somehow seems worse, but...
Hey, if you want to hurt me, why don't you come closer?
That's just what I'm thinking about doing! She does run up to you, and as she does, you see this hand of hers writhing with flies and maggots. And reaches out to claw at you, Marion. Yeah, so this is just a fortitude save for you, Marion.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
That does not seem like success.
So, what happens is suddenly, Marion, you feel these horrible, writhing, bug-like creatures, this, pox begin to infiltrate your lungs and nose. So you are that was a 12, you say?
It was a 12.
So that is just a failure. You are sickened 1.
Oh
currently.
boy.
Yep. So you feel just kind of bad about it, and she says, and just revels in being able to do this. But then that is all she can do on her turn. Fabian.
Okay. Well, let's go here, and I'm gonna attack this giant rat swarm. Do you get advantage? Is there any perks for flanking? I can't remember.
Not.
Part for flanking,
I don't know
but
if you can flank a swarm.
I mean,
Fair
we're
enough.
flanking them.
Fair enough.
That's a direct line that goes through it. I don't understand how that's not flanking.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
unless
just
it would say in the stat block if they're immune to it. There's
Yeah.
well, or in the swarm.
It's all good. I will strike with my rapier at this rat swarm. Ooh, but that doesn't look so promising.
It is a critical failure, unfortunately, with a natural 1, so it's not making much of a difference.
There's my second strike.
Doesn't say.
Yeah, I think they can be, because the bees that you did not fight in Plague Zone could have been flanked or flat-footed.
Yeah,
Flat-footed, even though they're bees.
There's no particular swarm trait, so that's interesting. Yeah, no, they are totally flanked currently. So that 13 does in fact hit.
For 3 damage.
For 3 damage.
Plus your sneak attack.
Yeah, because you're flanking.
Oh, sneak attack. Oh, I haven't got
Sneak
to do
attack.
sneak attack yet.
That's why flanking is really good for you.
Excellent. I'm just trying to quickly look up what the sneak attack does again.
D6,
So I deal an
think,
extra
for level
1d6. Which...
Assuming they're not immune to precision, which I no clue they might be.
Yeah, swarms might be.
Alright. Jinglepuss. You come in with the rapier. The cat hunting the mouse. The problem is, there's hundreds of them. And so you go to stab and you kind of get the leg of one, but you swear that you see like a few of the other rats carry the other injured rat away and like start to do triage on him and shit. And it seemed like your attack had almost no effect. Just a single like thrust at them, the swarm just kind of scatters all around. It is, they swarm. So that
all
is
good.
Fabian. Kanono, the Grig, is going to look, oh no you don't! And is just going to unleash 3 dissonant notes at the halfling's direction. So 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, only the first one is going to hit her for some sonic damage. She's like, ah! She's so happy about infecting Miriam with this that she kind of momentarily loses cover of her ears. Marion, it is now your turn.
Okay, I was supposed to roll for Ancestral Influence again at the end of my last turn, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
Sure.
Okay, it's Skillful again. I'm going to spend an action to Retch to try and get rid of the sickened condition.
Okay, make another.
Oh, how
fortitude
convenient.
So that's a 16.
So it's a 16.
Oh.
Yep, it's a penalty to all checks.
All checks. And
Oh, so saves. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's everything.
What gives you a bonus to save? Do any of the 3?
So a 16, unfortunately, will not do it. That is a failure.
Your ancestors are getting in the way.
I don't think that... Okay. It doesn't make it worse. You can attempt the retch to... A single action retching and attempt to recover. Make another save against the DC of the effect that makes you sickened.
Yeah.
Success, you reduce it by 1. So I don't think
using an action is punishing enough.
Yeah. So you kind of... and Teresia is like, oh no, not throw up on me, no thank you. As you kind of... But you still just feel awful. The halfling just cackles. You think that's gonna help? You're gonna die! Your insides are gonna come out your mouth!
He holds up his finger for a second, just to, just 1 second, and then he reaches out and touches her.
Ah!
Let's see if this...
Let's see.
A 9 passes. So she needs to make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, makes her a will save. Let's see. She critically succeeds her save.
Oh no.
Completely unaffected.
You kind of reach out like, another ghost touch! And she kind of goes and shakes it off. You see this fire behind her eyes, this just wild abandon in her actions and her thoughts, and she just kind of washes over her and does the little finger wag back at you.
But the good news is that turns on my major curse, or my moderate curse.
Oh.
So now I get a +1 status bonus to skill checks and perception checks, which balances out the penalty for being sickened.
All right, there you go.
So I'm gonna tell her. I don't know. I'm gonna tell her. I'm just gonna be real scary at her and demoralize her.
Okay, that's against her will DC, I believe.
Yep.
All right. Although you summon the full energy of the ghosts and the spirits that kind of haunt around you, you can see off in the distance this almost crow-like figure going across the darkened night sky, and you feel the presence of everything, your oracular powers manifesting. But as it does so, there's something else. There's something dark behind her as well. There's a malevolence, almost supernatural, to her actions and her intent, and it just seems that she's not. She just looks with this shit-eating grin on her face. Unfortunately, it does not work. So that was Marion. Faith, you're surrounded by rats.
That's nice. I choose to no longer be surrounded by rats. I'm going to move to here.
Okay.
And I'm going to use a key strike and punch her a couple of times. Not a key strike. Yeah, a key strike. So I'm going to make this... Ooh. I'm going to go with force damage, I think.
Okay.
I don't think I want to try negative damage on her.
I mean, she might be a zombie.
Oh! Oof! Big oof.
Wow.
You just come up, and as she and Marion are having this stare on, Faith runs up and just BAM! Right in the back of the head. Is just awful. So that 8 becomes a 16.
No. That 13 becomes a 26.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All the damage doubles.
Oh my
I
god.
forgot to say that was non-lethal, and I'm kind of worried that's going to matter at this point.
So it is a heavy, key-powered strike. So one of your fists has like a skull or something on it. I think it's like that, whatever the bad fist is. Bam! The skull lights up for a second in the back of your fist. She cries out and screams in pain. The rat head on her head, like doubles over almost completely covering her face. She kind of doubles over for a second. You think she's just gonna fall straight to the ground, but then she digs her staff into there. Looks back at you, just furiously raged. She's still up, but she is definitely super hurt by that.
I remember to say non-lethal this time. I'm gonna do the second half of my flurry of blows.
Wow.
Does a 22 hit?
Yeah. Shit. Then there are 12 points of
Faith
damage.
is like,
Yeah.
ooh.
All right. You kind of go, and still with the fist glowing, you just do a BAM! Right in her nose. And there is just a BAH! She stutters for a second. Nature is rising against you. You'll all die. Oof! And she falls over, unconscious.
I like this.
But I don't know what to do anymore. I
Still
guess.
a bunch of rats.
Yeah, but they're all the way over there. I don't have any ranged attacks. I knew I should got a shuriken. I guess I will. Can I move through the swarm? No, I'm gonna move to here, so that way, if somebody wants to flank the rats, they can move.
All right, we're back to Petra. The halfling has been knocked out, but the swarm still remains.
Does the plant thing go away? Is the difficult terrain still there?
It is still there.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, am I still sickened?
Yes.
Dang.
I can try to cure that, but I don't think my punches are gonna work. Maybe next level when I take that thing about diseases.
I don't know what I want to do. Well. I will just. I'm just gonna try and produce flame again.
Right. More fire at the rat swarm.
But I'm not having luck at all.
A 14 is just enough to hit. So that is 4 points of fire damage. And some of the rats burn.
Okay, and then you said this is difficult terrain? You said this is difficult terrain?
Yes. All that stuff around there is difficult terrain.
So it's double, right?
Yep.
So I can move to there, I think?
So that would be 10, 20, 25. Yeah, to get to there.
I'm done.
Alright. Petra moves up next to Faith. Horatio.
I will sustain my protective ward for my first action.
Okay.
Expand reach. And then second and third action, I will cast. I wish I had a better spell, but I will cast Electric Arc. So
All right.
reflex save for
To
them.
kill 2 rats.
They gotta make damage. That's 8 lightning damage. Let's see.
If it helps in second edition, it can target multiple things. I don't think that's this game, but
So no, the rat swarm fails. So as the fire comes right behind it, is lightning that arcs throughout them and seems to really fry a lot of those rats. A lot of them are quite hurt by that. All right, I think that was Horatio's go.
Yep.
Okay, so the rats, they don't like that lightning and stuff, so they're just still gonna crawl up the nearest people to them, which is gonna be Petra and Faith. So they're gonna come over here, and then they're going to swarm with bites. So I need each of you to make 2 reflex saving throws.
Made a mistake here somewhere.
like the bats. That's what they're like. They're like the bats.
Faith, pass your first
But you
one.
very briefly fought because you murdered them very quickly.
Yeah, that's like a swarm.
I'm not going to.
Ooh, Faith fails the second one. Petra,
Ooh, that's
you
a nat 1.
failed the first
Ooh.
one. That's a critical fail, yeah. On the second one. Okay, so...
Yeah, I remember. I realized what mistake I made. I should have just put shield up. I don't know why I moved.
Okay, so Faith, you're taking a grand total of 5 piercing damage, and then Petra, you are also taking 5 piercing damage. But each of you are each of you needs to make a fortitude saving throw for me now.
Oh no!
Ow.
It's Bill's fever,
It's
whatever the
Bill's fever.
Rat rot.
I cannot roll.
Oh dear. So,
I'm not. I'm used to
Okay.
just having a sword.
Petra, you don't feel good. You feel like some of those rats got into you. Hang on one sec.
Some of the rats got into her.
Ew.
Got, like, figuratively.
Got
None of them
to
are.
Bit into her, perhaps.
Now, for the record, it's not the rats that carry the plague, it's actually the fleas. So I feel like this is historically inaccurate. Because I saw Ratatouille, and I'm citing it as historically accurate.
These are not the
It
rats.
says
Your
Petra
rats.
didn't get bit by the fleas. I don't think she should she should have to worry about the disease check.
Right.
Well, these malevolent, red-eyed, invoked rats, spurred on by this halfling woman, carry something filthy upon them. So that's the end of their go, or Arshisk.
I'm gonna step here, and is there a flanking way to be somewhere
You're flanking there. You're flanking with Petra.
There, yeah.
there? Okay. And I will make 2 attacks, I guess. Swipe, swipe.
Swipe, swipe.
One swipe.
You go and try to nab some of them before they get on Petra and Faith, but can't quite reach them.
2 swipes.
Unfortunately, you're trying to like grab these rats. You mostly get like dirts and piles of grass as you're trying to get at them with your claws.
That's all for me.
Unfortunately, not too much. All right, Teresia, which is this one over here, says, "Oh no, that's way too many rats." Is going to, yeah, she can do that actually. She begins playing a fiddle furiously at the rat swarms, trying her dissonant note 3 times against them. So
They can't inspire courage, can they?
they cannot.
Sad.
So turns out that this music is real bad when they want it to be, because you see the rats all immediately begin holding onto their heads as this music is just way loud by comparison, way too much for them, and you see their little rat minds break and flatter over. As with the first dissonant note, Teresia is able to end the rat swarm. Immediately after that, I need Marion to make another fortitude saving throw.
It's a 14.
14. So you still feel bad. You are currently sickened 1 and slowed 1. But at that point, the halfling knocked out and all the rats destroyed, we are able to drop out of initiative. You see Teresi and Konono kind of like feel like they finished the performance and say, "We did it, yay!" and kind of go and begin bowing in front of the fire. Your other fellow circus performers are kind of like slowly looking up like, "Oh my god, that was really fucking intense." Professor kind of extricates himself. Yilnar is still trapped in this entanglement that lasts for a little bit longer. But they're all kind of like looking over like, "Oh my god, what was this?" In the aftermath of the battle. Does anyone try to do anything to Marion in the next round or so? As you can see, he is visibly like, ugh. Or Marion, if you want to attempt retching again.
I'm gonna attempt retching again. I'm gonna devote all of my
Actions to retching?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Alright, I get a 22 on the first one.
Alrighty, 22 is enough to do it. You managed to get out whatever it was. It was just really, really nasty, horrible stuff, and you just managed to to whatever that was.
Is everyone okay?
I think I need to rest before we fight any other things today.
Marion looks up at his sick and he says, "Alright! Anyone know of anyone else who wants to fight us tonight?"
Just like, alright, who else? Who else? Just kind of in this drunken stupor, looking around and seeing who else is coming out at you. And for the time being, it seems that no one else is. After a few moments, the vines, the grass and whatnot begins to go back to its normal size, not choking the life around you currently. The rats lay dead at your feet, and this halfling remains unconscious, her staff kind of laying out one side, the scowl still across their face. For those technically 2 encounters, you each get 200 experience points.
Ooh.
Wow. We're closing in.
I'll look around. I realize this is a
Right
loaded
there.
question, but does anyone have any manacles?
Nope.
To each other.
I mean,
Mordain!
Point to Mordain.
Wait. Make sure they're real manacles, and not trick manacles.
Not show
Mordain wouldn't
manacles.
cheat.
What are you saying, Faith? All my props
Make
are
sure-
real.
Actually, it doesn't really matter. I can work with fake manacles.
They're not fake, I assure you. All my props are real, but I'll be right off. This just seems absolutely brutal, and I could use the constitutional anyway from this madness. And Mordane quickly runs off to her wagon. With that, everyone kind of comes in and is peering around. The two Griggs, Teresia and Kanono, kind of look around and say, "Well, I think our work here is done. You're very welcome. We'll have to come see the next show whenever you do the performance. Save us a couple of seats. Oh, and also, we have this little present for you." And Teresia goes into this little pouch and pulls out this crystal, this small little crystal, and she says, "Here you go," and sets it on a rock by the fire. Teresia and Kanono kind of wave, "Goodbye, friends forever. Love music. Music is life. Goodbye." And as they kind of go along the water, they turn invisible and go away.
Thank you for your help.
I'm going to look at Marion and look at the crystal and say, "Do you think it's safe to touch?"
Marin, who is lying face down on the ground right now, just reaches out and grabs the crystal.
Sure. What would you like to use to identify it?
Let's go with religion. Religion is the highest one I have so far.
Sure.
Actually, no. We'll go with nature. They're fairies. Fairies are nature adjacent. It's a +4.
Nature adjacent creatures.
Sure, +4. Okay. So you kind of just put a hand out while you're laying on the ground there, take a look at this crystal. You know that this is, it's a fluoride crystal. It glows with a strange phosphorescence to it. And you know that similar to the owlbear claw that you acquired earlier, this is a crystal that has, that is affixed to a weapon like a talisman, and then when you go to attack with it, you can activate the crystal and make the weapon attack a bit stronger.
Cool. Magic rock.
He says, still face down in the dirt.
What is this magic rock?
Am I still rat, whatever?
You still don't feel good, but nothing kind of overt to it. It's been a few minutes since the battle stopped, but...
Can I treat
What she
wounds
got?
on myself?
Can you treat wounds on yourself?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to risky surgery because that could knock me unconscious, in which case I probably
oh
wouldn't
yeah,
get
that
the...
would be bad.
Amazing.
So I'm going to try to heal myself.
Okay, so...
I got a 21, so I heal 7.
Yeah, in that first parentheses, it even says targeting yourself if you so choose.
Alright, so I got
Yes,
you
I can read? Come on. Does anybody else require healing? That who has been healed in the last hour?
Have I been healed by faith in the last hour?
I don't think so. The only person I have is Fabian.
I need
He's not
healing.
quite there yet.
Yeah, I could use some, but
But that's another 10 minutes you take to kind of help yourself out. So if anyone wants to do any 10-minute activities, and at that point, Fabian, you're able to be treated wounds again if you want.
Oh, good, somebody.
H.
How many hit points do you have, Petra?
5.
Asking for a friend.
5.
It probably won't kill you.
Look at the staff, H.
I want to search for stuff.
I failed though, so I do 1 point damage to Petra, and she's gonna be really mad at me later because I rolled it. Because I rolled it to.
Can't call me Petey yet, so
I figured.
now I have 4 hit points. But I'm not dead.
But then you gain 17.
That's good.
No, she doesn't because I got a 9.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you just punched Petra, you jerk. During that time, Horatio, you want to look at the staff?
Staff, any other obvious magical stuff she has, or not obvious magical stuff she has on her, using detect magic,
Okay.
read aura.
Detect yeah, so using those spells, you hone in that the her sickle is indeed magical. Which she didn't get a chance to use. So if you want to try,
I may knock her out too quickly.
Yeah, if you want to try to identify that, it'll be another few minutes, but you can try to do that if you'd like.
Yeah, and then does the staff appear to be magical, or was it just a stick?
Nope, just a staff.
Hmm.
Apparently.
I throw it in the fire.
You're like, this kindling goes in
Wait,
there.
actually, no, hold on. Did I buy a staff? I thought about it. Let me look at my inventory. Actually, no. I'm going to keep it.
You think about it and you're like, I need a staff.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like, a sharpened point at the bottom end, and it's adorned with all these kind of feathers and trinkets and what looks like a really poorly made dream catcher on one end. So it's definitely
that
got
could all be fixed with
druidic
crafting.
flair to it.
Yeah.
You take a moment to look over and identify the weapon. So I'll say this is kind of during the second. It'll take about 20 minutes or so by doing all this stuff to recover from the battle.
It's a +7.
Plus
Arcana
7.
or occultism.
Okay. You can definitely tell it's magical, but you can't really tell any special properties about it.
I can't tell what this thing is.
It is
Anyone
a
else want to take a try?
sickle.
I'm no good with. I wouldn't be any good with this anyway.
What kind of check is it?
You can use Arcana or Occultism or Religion.
Oh, goodness gracious. I can use Arcana or Occultism. I'll do Arcana, I guess.
Sure. I can make that. Oh, actually, I make that bonus too for
Sorry.
you, so that's okay. So it's a +6 to your check.
Yeah.
Okay. Petra, you take a look, and you think this is just a, finally, it'll be a little bit easier to attack with this weapon. There's not much to it. It is a +1 sickle.
It's a +1 sickle. If anyone needs +1 sickle. Don't.
Yep, so about half an hour or so has passed. The halfling's still out there. Mordain does return eventually. It takes her a long-ass time to return with these handcuffs. And they're just kind of like normal type handcuffs. They don't seem particularly thick or anything, but they're definitely real. And she holds them up. Here you go, do what you will. It looks like we've finally found the killer. Is that right? Do we all agree on this? The professor kind of comes forward. It's up to you. Do you think this was the one? And as you do that, Horatio, you're kind of finishing with patting down the body, and you discover that she also has a key on her. Holding the key aloft to the fire, the professor looks. That's the ringmaster's key. I think we might have found the one who did the deed.
Do they
did essentially confess?
Am I interpreting that to be the key to his
to his wagon?
wagon?
Yes.
Okay.
And everyone just kind of, you see people start to get these mean looks and kind of come forward and like gang up around the halfling and look to you all expectantly.
I want to put the cuffs. Do you think we should do her feet or her hands?
Hands, definitely.
Hands would impede spell casting.
I think.
And then we can tie up her feet.
And while we're at it, we can put her in Mordain's water tank.
What? I was just going into my wagon and heard my name again.
Don't worry about it.
All right, I'll be in here if you need me.
I will put the handcuffs on her, and then I will cast lock on the handcuffs.
Ooh. All right.
Normally, I'd use the spell for locking up our lockbox at the end of the night, but I can cast it again.
All right, so you make those manacles even tighter with magic, and they lock securely, and she remains unconscious, bound. Do you have any rope to tie her feet with, or what else are you planning to do to her?
Rope. It's in my adventurer's pack.
Alrighty, they begin.
I mean,
Well, what kind of check is rope tying?
you
Asking
it
for a
is
friend.
not. It uses your thievery DC.
Oh, okay. I will tie her up then. My thievery DC is 17.
All right. So she is bound, hands and feet,
I'm gonna gag her too, just in case.
and
Because
gagged
I
as well.
I don't need to hear her rambling on about nature or whatever.
So, I'm gonna, wonder what we're going to do with her.
We're in a town, right?
She seemed to have something against the town.
Yes, you're indeed in the town of Aberton, which is a small farming town. It's not particularly big. It's on the Isle of Arran, so there are two islands, right, that are kind of in the middle of the inner sea region, and the larger island, Isle of Kortos, is fairly large, and the Isle of Arran, where you guys are, is fairly small. So there's only like a couple of small farming and fishing villages around here, and then Escadar is the main city, kind of port town on here. You're some days away from Escadar in Aberton, and you've been here for a couple weeks or so. And it's a small town. There's not a lot going on for it. There's like one shop, one temple, and not a whole lot else besides that. And you're not super familiar with the town either.
Are
Does
they
it-
known for polluting like the river or something?
Make a society check. Actually, what's your society bonus? I'll say because it's like a recall knowledge.
It's a 3.
Plus 3 in your society. Okay. You don't know. I mean, Aberton's like that. It's like a country town. No one ever really goes there. No one really knows what people there are about. So, I mean, maybe they're cannibals. Maybe they're awful, shitty people here.
What's their law enforcement picture look like?
So you hear that there's a sheriff in town. That's kind of the general rumor, and the professor can kind of confirm. Yes, there is a sheriff. We met briefly when we first came here and didn't really speak sense. We do know that the mayor was in attendance to our show this night, and he's kind of in charge of everything. He's a nice man. I could potentially get in touch with him and see what he thinks of all this. It's fairly late now. I'd assume he's asleep, but first thing in the morning we can set off and send a runner to hail the mayor.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Professor kind of nods sagely. Well, we should do with her what we plan on doing, and then try to rest. You all have more than earned it. You look, to be frank, terrible and exhausted.
Are we going to? I'm gonna question. Are we gonna keep an eye on her?
I mean, we put her in the tank, we put something heavy on the lid. I don't think that she's getting out of there.
And if there's somewhere with a lock, I can spell that lock too.
I guess I'm gonna go fetch Mordain then. If we're gonna borrow her case.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah, let's
Besides,
just.
She's injured. She can't perform anyway. Remember, she hurt herself during her act.
That's true. If there's any damage to the tank, we'll fix it. I'll fix it, I guess.
That's so magnanimous of you, H. Thank you.
Alrighty, so you take this halfling woman to Mordane's tank back in the circus tent. It is easy enough to kind of open it up. It opens from a box in the top, and able to just kind of bump her in, close the door, and it locks and latches. It does exactly what it was designed to do, and close up. Now, there's a certain trick to it. Of course, Mordane doesn't tell anybody what she does in order to escape from here, but as far as you can tell, it looks pretty secure. At this
Lock
point,
on the lock.
yeah, if you have there we go.
I'm going to
So
touch my
trick or-
necklace, drain
trick-
the magic out of it, and then recast lock.
All right.
So trick or no trick.
Yeah, no matter what, you're locking down this halfling. You do thorough security on there. So people kind of go into the circus and watch you do so. And there's kind of like a, congratulatory, yeah, we did it. But everybody's pretty freaking tired by that point. So the, let me see here. Takes a while, but you manage to put the halfling there. It is very late at night at this point. Probably around midnight is what you can estimate. I do need Petra to make a fortitude saving throw.
For no reason, just
Your hourly fort save.
Yeah, I can always tell when you're about to say my name because you get this like.
Okay.
Maybe I'm feeling better.
For all you can tell, Petra, you seem to be doing all right, and in fact, the rest of you seem to be doing okay for right now. But it is very late at night. Is there anything else you all wish to accomplish before, or do you want to go ahead and set any kind of rotating watch on the halfling before you go to bed?
That's probably not a bad idea.
All right, so pretty much just like camping and taking watch, you're able to, I'll say, with enough people in the circus too, and with enough of you as well, you're able to just go on watches as if you were camping out in the wild, and just to, go so on the next person's door, knock and get them ready to go and take the watch of the halfling. So you all begin your long rest for the evening.
Could we do a round of treat wounds?
Sure. Faith and Petra are still kind of on the cooldown for that.
Whoops.
But whoa.
49 hit points to everybody.
No. Yeah, so basically, if you wanted to treat wounds on folks, Faith, you could get to everyone but yourself and Petra.
So is it because if it fails, it still counts as like a attempt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Fabian
Sure.
because he's closest to me.
You?
I failed. I got an 11.
Yeah.
I will then move on to Horatio. I can't read that name.
Yeah.
Haha! There you go.
Thank you.
You get 21 hit points because I created
Wow.
that one. And then Orshink.
What?
Or shake.
Orshink! Orsharisk?
Look around. Who?
Who is this you talking about?
Well, whoever it is, they get 16 hit points. So whoever wants that, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then, Marion, do you want it too?
Yeah.
Too bad. I got a 13.
Oh well.
Okay.
Gosh. I have more than 3 hit points for the first time in 2 sessions, 2 or 3 sessions.
All right. By this point, I'm trying to fix everybody up. It is past midnight. Everyone's pretty freaking tired. Whoever has first watch gets the lovely duty of trying to go and see. So, I will say that you all do get your long rest successfully after this harrowing day. So you're able to get a little bit of hit points back. Horatio, when it's your go, do you think you would go kind of towards the beginning, middle, or end of the watches?
I would probably go toward the begin because it's already 1 o'clock. I probably go first because I have dark vision. So
Sure.
once the light starts coming up, that's a little bit wasted.
Sure. So within that first hour or so that you begin watching, you see that this halfling does return to consciousness in the glass box. You see her kind of look up for a bit. She struggles just for a while. You can see her trying to take the handcuffs and begin to rub her wrists raw and bloody. Tries to move her feet back and forth, but you know, watching her struggle for a while, you see that she just has no chance of doing anything about it. She is looking around, this wild-eyed like this rat in a cage, just furiously.
Despite all her rage.
Despite all your rage. Well, I don't know, because the glass, would it block the spell?
I think I just need to be able to see. I don't know
it's
that
mental.
there's line of effect.
Go through his mind.
There is line of effect, but I think that line of effect is a stupid rule.
Yeah, because it's in their mind, right? The glass, you can see through the glass, and also the glass, it's not airtight either. So, sure, I'll have her make a will save. That's only a 15. She
Whoa, a druid failed.
rolled
Will
really
save.
low. Rolled really low. Yeah, no. So she begins struggling, and you're just like, shush, and she goes back out for pretty much the rest of the night. So with that, you are all able to successfully rest for the evening. So you get, I think it's your level times your Constitution modifier back in hit points. If you're missing any,
So
spell
1.
slots back. Yeah, so 1 if it's not.
Ooh, I'm back to 5. Oh.
You know, a little bit of that. You all sleep pretty well. It's a pretty fitful sleep, and for successfully apprehending and taking care of this horrible killer of Thunder Stendhal, you all get an additional 100 experience points.
Oh.
Oh, it's getting so close.
Yeah, 120 more, is that right?
That's right.
Mhm.
All right. So the dawn comes. So you kind of draw the curtain on the first day. Dawn comes. You all wake up rested as you can be. Some of you still have
About
injured.
6 hours later, because we went to bed at midnight.
Yeah. Well, a little past dawn. You probably will sleep a little bit.
I'll
A little bit
and
timey
plus the
wimey stuff.
watches. We woke up around 11 a.m.
Let him have his storytelling.
Well,
This is
you
about
know.
this is about the time that Marion would get up for his watch.
It's a figurative dawn breaking.
Yeah, during the dawn, Marion gets it up and goes and checks on the halfling, still out cold after all this time. And then eventually the rest of you, it's probably about 9 o'clock or so by the time everyone is finally up and dressed and ready for everything. You quickly hear word that the professor has sent somebody out to go fetch the mayor. So you expect the mayor should be coming to the circus at some point. If you wish to do anything kind of before the mayor arrives, you can do so. Or if you just want to still wait around or do whatever, it is up to you.
I would like to make my daily preparation so I have something useful to cast today.
Sure, you can finally change your spells around just a little bit.
I want to meditate for 10 minutes.
Sure.
I want to refocus, I guess. I can try healing somebody again, because it's been an hour.
So, I probably need healing if I can be healed now yet. Or does it have to
Yeah,
be a day?
everybody's things
It can be-
are
it can
reset
be-
at this point, so just
Okay.
let me know if you
Oh
want
yeah,
to
healing.
treat wounds on somebody.
Yes. Please, try.
I'm gonna start with Petra, and I'm not gonna be risky this time because it didn't work for me last time.
No.
No, missed by 1. I should have been risky.
Oh, so
Is the DC lower for risky?
I get a +2, so it's effectively
Oh.
lower.
I feel like Petra just is not meant to be healed.
yeah, Petra's having a rough time.
It's like the last game when
Marion, was that for you?
Yeah, that was for me.
Okay, so Marion, unfortunately.
I'm pretty low priority, so whatever.
Alright, anybody else trying to treat wounds
I
or do
can't-
anything before the
I
mayor
can't
comes?
remember who else needs healing.
Can I get another treat wounds?
Sure.
I'm at half health.
So on Fabian.
Nope. Oh well. It's okay. It's all good.
It's
Back to
okay.
bed.
You did your best.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sleep for the next 24 hours.
Surely there won't be. Oh, I'm gonna try to heal myself while I'm doing this. Haha! See, it works on me.
Yeah.
Someone favors themselves when they go to.
Maybe I should have healed myself first, then it would have done better in the other checks.
Yeah.
Because I was still distracted by being injured.
So you take the morning still trying to treat these wounds to help out anything you can with your injuries, all the terrible things that you suffered last night. The circus kind of slowly doesn't go back to normal, but it tries to resume functions as best as can. The animals are fed. People would go and check on Bardolph and make sure that Bardolph's still cool, and he is, and everything seems to be okay, except for, no one really has gone into the ringmaster's wagon still. They still kind of say there's this, this pollen-y smell and atmosphere to it. They just kind of aren't dealing with that right now.
Did we ever do anything to the ringmaster's body? Like, bury it?
No, it's still kind of back there. No one's quite sure what to do. They've got like a curtain around it, like a private section. They just don't. No one has decided kind of what the proper burial form is yet. But if you want to do something about it, it's up to you.
Can I search his wagon to see if he had some sort of will or something? Or
Forge a will.
no, that would be unethical.
You can. There's still kind of that plant matter in the wagon where the ringmaster was, so you can try to go through there and delve through the wagon and see if you can find something.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here.
Going back into.
Uh-huh. So, the pollen is still present as you go and kind of just search the documents, see if Myron had anything on him that may have indicated how he would want to go. As you do that, I would like you to make a will save, Owarshisk. 20. All right. You are able to, what's coming, so you're able to kind of hold your snout.
I mean, I do have, not that it's, right? Never mind. Do lizards have a breathing thing that they do? I don't know. Can I stay underwater for long? Breath control.
Yeah, there you go. You're able to hold your breath, take a deep breath.
You can hold your breath for 25 times as long as usual before suffocating.
Oh, there you go. So you just hold your breath, begin going through documents and whatnot, trying to figure out what to do. You don't find a will. It didn't really seem like Myron was the kind of person to prepare like that. It's kind of like, I'm going to live and die in the circus, and that's that. He was a performer through and through, so he would want something, flashy, something big, and some wild send-off. I mean, you get some papers and stuff like that. You see that he did have this kind of secret hobby and love of trying to get fireworks, like, different kinds of explosive powders and whatnot that would go off. So he never really got like an act together for it, but always wanted and dreamed of like a fireworks show as part of the circus. You find that much, and kind of mentions of just how well he thinks the circus is doing. It seemed like he truly believed in the Circus of Wayward Wonders and what it could be. So you managed to find some of that while you're holding your breath and trying to not breathe in this hallucinogenic pollen.
Can I take those, like, that indication of his dream or whatever, like where he?
Sure, you find some like diary pages and something, and are able to rip a couple of those out, or take the whole diary if you want.
Yeah.
You keep it intact. Take that with you. So, but yeah, we'll say you have Myron's diary after going back in there and searching.
Okay.
Again.
And I guess when I get back, I want to show it to, I guess the administrative person is Horatio. So I want to show it to Horatio, like the page that I found about the fireworks thing, and try to suggest, like, is there something we can do about this, and sending him off.
Well, I'm sure if we talk to the rest of the circus, everyone would be happy to pitch in. Thunder was special to everyone, so I don't know. I haven't looked recently at what we have as far as fireworks, but sure we could acquire some, if nothing else. We did make a little bit of money. Little bit of money last night.
That's all for me.
Alrighty.
So we're going to cremate him and put his ashes in the fireworks, is what I'm getting.
Oh.
Or he put the fireworks on the body and blow him up.
It's a bit too macabre.
Thought that's what you meant. But I guess the cremation idea is probably a little less disgusting.
So a few minutes after you kind of are talking and gathering around, figuring out what we're going to do to Myron's body, the flap to the tent, the big top, where the backstage area is, where his body is still being kept, opens up, and you see that the professor has come in, and he has another human kind of following by his side, that you see from the dress and kind of the civilian mannerisms of him, you presume to be the mayor, who has kind of come. He doffs his hat and comes down. The mayor takes off his hat and holds it before him with both hands. Thank you so much for seeing me and sending for me. My name is Jay Aber, and I'm the mayor of this town. I saw your show last night, and it was spectacular. Then this morning...
You're too kind.
Of course. This morning I learned that you and your people were attacked by someone from Abberton. Or perhaps from what your friend here, the professor, was telling me, perhaps from the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning. You see, it's starting to make some sense to me. You see, our little town has been terrorized for weeks, since long before you showed up. And I'm so very sorry that you got caught up in this, but I just can't see how anyone from our town would be involved in such villainy. And I can't believe anyone at the Hermitage would do so either. You see, the hermits are kind, humble, and pious folk, devoted to Gosra. Their master is a man named Harlock Hamdeal. He's a nice person, loves animals and nature and such, and honestly, it's impossible to imagine him countenancing anything like what happened last night, but that doesn't mean that the town and the Hermitage have always agreed on things. You see, Abberton has had some challenges lately. There's been little rain, the fields are dry, the heat has withered the plants, then we got a cold snap that froze what survived, and the wind has pulled what's left of the topsoil into dust storms. Most of our wells have dried up, and the streams, I've never seen them so low. Some have vanished completely. Now, it's nature, it goes in cycles, I know. Many of us figure we just need to be patient. The rains will come back, but some of the hermits have blamed us. For what, I don't know. It's like they think we've done something wrong, but we're just farmers. And over the last month, things have gotten really bad. Himima got attacked by a wild boar in the street. Abberton's miller, Sarah Houghton, and her family have gone missing. No one would blame them if they left town, but maybe they were driven off. Normally I'd go to the sheriff with all of this, but she's always kept us safe, but no one's seen her either. And I heard how you protected innocent people here last night, and I thought, maybe you could do so for us what you did for them. If you could, I'd gladly speak to Harlock about the woman who attacked you last night. Perhaps even get you admission to the Hermitage so you could talk to him and see for yourself that, they're harmless. And he kind of looks to you all expectantly.
Can I first do a recall knowledge on this hermitage? Plus 7.
Plus 7, sure.
Society. If it's religion, I'd rate it that.
You'll probably get different information depending on what you use.
Okay, I'd like to do society.
Okay. Plus 7?
Yep.
Okay. So you noticed that when you were coming in here, there was kind of, talk about town, or either like a signpost somewhere that pointed off to the northwest of town. There's the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning. Basically what you can tell is that it's a remote sanctuary devoted to Gosra, and where people would go to worship kind of in isolation. You're fairly near the coast, and the way the road goes, it probably goes up by the coastline. So it's probably just, one of those insular societies, monks or whatever, recluses that go into devotion, utter devotion to the twin goddess of nature, Gosra, and go into deep focus over there. Beyond that, it's not particularly notable in terms of, famous locations. It's just, it's probably along these cliffs that you saw to the north that border the ocean. So it's kind of a cliffside hermitage up in that direction to the northwest of town.
Well, I mean, we could always check with them and see if the halfling's one of theirs.
The mayor nods. Unfortunately, from how she was described, I think that she just might be. But it just doesn't sound like anything that Harlock would condone. He's a good man, and I've known him for very many years. We have disagreements occasionally, but who doesn't?
Okay.
Really, who would want to talk to us to clear up the name to clear up his Hermitage's name?
Yes, if you could help me out in what's some of the issues plaguing our town, I would gladly go to the Hermitage in your stead and make an appeal to Harlock to see if he can't come and rectify the situation. I feel just awful for you. You're coming here and doing us a great service and a distraction from all of our woes, but our woes are still here, and it seems that you all are very capable individuals. Maybe can do some more investigating into our town's troubles. The professor chimes in at that point and says, I may be able to also help with that. Of course, I may also need some assistance. And he kind of does and you see that other figures begin to come into the tent where you guys are. And you see several other folks come in. You all recognize these figures as people from the sideshow of Everyday Marvels. So the Circus of Wayward Wonders does indeed have a sideshow, but it does not present those, freaks and geeks and those kind of folks. No, instead it tries to glorify people who are thoroughly average and every kind of thing. It's not cultish at this point. It's a circus. It's a family affair. It's these people. You know all the people in the screen except for the mayor. So they're they're pretty good looking folks for the most part. They're
Like to join the companions.
Yeah. So the professor says, we've already been out early this morning and getting a lay about the town, and the sideshow here, Raid, has information for you. Each one of them has followed up on the lead that Mayor Aber has discussed. Rumors about town as well. Gideon Elbus points to the guy over here, the bearded man. He has gone around and done some scouting out and talked to the local watering hole. We have Tahala Road Watcher, the tattooed woman, who's gone about as well. Hesper and Matas Jaxus, the unjoined twins, done some investigating. And of course, our beloved Cubby, the dog-faced dog. And Cubby kind of goes up and says, I want to thank you all for what you did last night. It's truly, we would be lost if it weren't for you. So I'd like to say thank you. And Cubby nods to you all.
No problem, Cubby.
Good boy.
And with that, leads abound for you to investigate the woes of the town of Aberton now that the halfling has been caught. But what are these mysterious things? Why is nature so riled against this town and the farmers? And what is this hermitage of blessed lightning and the people who may inhabit it? We'll find out next time on the Extinction.